You know, I often talk about how the little 1025R is kind of a multitasker. It'll do a lot of different things, right, Christy?
Yep.
I usually say there's almost always a piece of equipment that'll do the job better. For instance, a mini excavator will dig a little better than Johnny. You know, a skid steer loader is a little better loader than Johnny, etc. But when it comes to garden tilling, I'm really not sure there's anything better than this rig right here. I mean, the 4-foot tilling width is perfect. It'll get in a lot of even small gardens you've seen us do. It's powerful enough. The 4-wheel drive is great. This is just an incredible rig for tilling gardens.
And it looks good too.
Hey, that's important, right?
Right.
I better get back to it and stop windbagging on this, hadn't I? In this little garden, we had old fescue. It's been around for years, and we're tilling it up. We made 2 or 3 passes over it, and wow, no problem at all. I think that'll do it.
I think so.
This garden's much larger. We tilled it last year as well. What's difficult about this one is it's got a fence all the way around it. The small size and tight turning radius of the Subcompact Tractor makes it the optimum equipment to till this garden. This one had to be the hardest one we did all spring. Not only does it have fences all the way around, it has a bunch of posts in the middle. I'm still not sure what they're for, but they were difficult to navigate around.
So there's a lot of newspaper on the ground. He's just going to till that up with everything else. I'm assuming that they tie up their plants to keep them holding them upright. Going over it the second time really helps with the paper. It reminds me of a trash dump, actually.
That was tough.
Yeah, but after it looks a lot better than before.
We get a lot of viewer questions concerning the idea of starting a business with a little tractor. I want to bring up a couple of things maybe you should think about before you start this type of business. One area of concern is just about the amount of money one can make doing this. Tilling, for instance, just isn't very profitable. People can't afford to pay that much to have you till their small backyard garden, and it still takes an entire trip, loading on your trailer, unloading, etc., to get the job done. Another aspect is one of experience. Do you really have the experience to do the job in a timely and cost-effective manner for the customer? Learning to do all these projects on your own time, on your own property is a tremendous amount of fun. But it's totally different when the client is expecting you to get the project done perfectly the very first time. Another thing to consider is, do you really have the right equipment for the job? We talked at the beginning of this video about how a subcompact tractor like a BX or this tractor is good at a lot of stuff, but it's really not the optimal equipment for a lot of the types of jobs that you'll face. You have to ask yourself, are you being fair to the client if you charge a high rate to use a piece of equipment that's not really optimal for the job? Overall, the point of this channel is to show you how much fun you and your family can have working on projects with your own little tractor. We started taking on these projects because we, quite frankly, ran out of projects on our own property, and if we were going to continue to have tractor fun, we had to do them somewhere. Now we're going to get started crossways. On that second time over, it really goes in deep. So you really see a nice deep tilling. In fact, look, it's even pulling the engine down on her. I think it's because those skids, see, aren't held up on the second time over. They bury themselves right there in that tilled dirt. The homeowner is supposed to be home from his kid's baseball practice any minute. Johnny wouldn't run over us now, would he? Well, Billy, what do you think of your garden?
It looks beautiful. I'll tell you what, you guys are doing a heck of a job, and glad that we found you, and hopefully it can produce some good vegetables. We'll see.
Yeah, I just like normal, everybody, I've got Christy doing all the work. You know how that goes, right? What are you going to grow, Billy?
We're going to grow some corn, tomatoes, peppers, jalapenos. We're Irish, so we got to have some potatoes.
Tractor Time with Tim is big into the potatoes and the sweet corn.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Billy?
I'm actually in medical device sales.
Okay.
So I'm in and out of hospitals all day, and my wife is a manager at an orthodontist office. But we are going to try to use all the spare time we can, daylight time, to be picking weeds and make it big enough to where we can put the gas-powered tiller in between.
Yeah, this really is it's therapy for us.
I bet.
Just to get out and dig in the
like
dirt.
Today.
Yeah. Maybe in July and August it might not be so much therapy. I don't know.
Right when it's hot. Well, you gave great recommendation on Roundup on that about a week and a half ago. So I thought I'd hopefully killed a lot of it.
Well, I couldn't tell know whether it was all dead or not, but maybe if it was only a week and a half, it's probably still dying. Which it'll continue to die then.
Staging it like that, I think, helped rather than just
Mowing
calling you
really
and having you
helped.
out the next day.
Yeah, your mowing really helped. I mean, this is to see sod go down like this in 2 passes is very optimistic.
What's the channel again?
Tractor Time with Tim.
Tractor Time with Tim. All right.
Looking good.
My wife's going to be so excited. This is kind of her project. Her and her friend wanted to do together.
Oh, nice.
This used to be farmland, I guess, 30 years ago. All of this was farmland.
Okay.
And the previous owners planted all of these trees 30 years. So those are all 30 years old. So are
Oh,
these.
wow.
These are all 30 years old.
Wow.
Our neighbor was telling us because he's had that land for 100 years in his family.
Oh, wow.
So he gave us the history of this land. He said, so it should be pretty good once you get down in there.
My son, of course, is looking for dinosaur bones. He thinks there's stuff down in there. Dad, what else do you think's
You
down
never
there?
know.
A treasure?
You're going to have to get you a little tractor.
That's what Tim said too, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. That's a really nice one.
I'm trying to sell him on John Deere tractors. What do you think?
Well, I realize that'll put us out of business if you keep selling him a tractor.
Well, that's true.
That's right.
He's going to need one, though. He's building a new
He's gonna need one,
house.
yeah.
He's got a
I'm gonna need a
garden. Got lots of trees.
Gonna need a barn. The barn we're hoping is gonna go right there.
Yep, see?
So,
He needs
yeah.
a spot.
because I heard
Right
that
there.
you need, from the finance committee, you need to have forethought. That, where are we gonna put everything?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
Right?
financing.
Yes.
Tiny little engine. Wow.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
in great shape though.
I think you ought to get some soil samples out here. What do you need? Just a few ounces, right, Christy?
Yeah, but it was a core sample, so you want not just the top, go down, I think 4 inches is
Okay.
what it said.
But in this case, it's been tilled, so there's been some
Yeah.
stirring already.
That's true.
And maybe do kind of 4 areas and then kind of mix them all together. And you take it down to the Soil and Water Conservation
Okay.
here at the county. And I think it's about $30. And they'll give you a report. They send it to you in PDF format. And you get a report, and it says all the fertility ratings. And then after you tell them what you want to do, like you said, sweet corn, potatoes, and what, they'll tell you what you should apply.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you very much.
You